And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, Josh Peterson and I, we covered the box office, which included, of course, a good showing by Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and also as well, not so good showing by The Running Man. We talk about that, plus also as well, the hit indie game Dispatch, also as well, what in the heck is Pluribus on Apple TV Plus? We talk about all that and more. So go ahead and check it out today. Pop Culture Cosmos on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're a member to the Lakers Fast Break, you can catch it on our channel as well. Also, as well, want to go ahead and give a big shout out to Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. You see the awesome pillow. I mentioned it on the pregame, but I get to show you in person again right here on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and flip it here on the other side. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that quality right there. Kobe and Gigi. Also, as well, you got right there up above you, right there. Look at that. Luka, after another good game for Luka. And also as well, Kobe Bryant right there, right above my head for that canvas art. You too can have that quality of a holiday gift or a hat, a shirt. You've seen Joe's Drip Show hat on that looks like the Dodgers hat. So go ahead, tell him what you're thinking of. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter, or even on YouTube. Give him a shout out there. Go ahead, follow him there. Go ahead and let him know what you're thinking about. He'll let you know if he can do it, whether it's pop culture related or sports related. It's at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Please follow him, support him, and you can get a really, really nice gift made for yourself or someone you love right there for you at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. What's going on, Cool Bro? What's going on? Trayvon, what's going on, everybody here in the chat? Johnny, great to have you here. Great win for the Lakers today. Also, as well, want to go ahead and give a shout out to the Lakerholics crew at Lakerholics.com. You know, Laker Tom is giddy right now. Jamie Sweet is happy. It wasn't a trap game. Michael Heinrich is probably trying to keep the two from arguing with each other. And L-Rob is out in Detroit doing I guess, big smile right now because the Lakers had a great game today. So go ahead and follow the guys out there at Lakerholics.com. And they'll be by hopefully this weekend to talk about their thoughts on LeBron's first game back right there for you this weekend hopefully from the Lakerholic Spotlight right here on the Lakers Fast Break as well. Unfortunately, though, John Costa is under the weather. He is coughing up and hacking up a lung. So our big shout out to him, our best wishes to him. I don't know how he's going to get through his 3-minute report. It may be cut down to a minute and a half, but please support him today at Lakers Corner. And in the messages, in the comments, please wish him at least to feel better because I know he said he's under the weather and couldn't make it tonight. So at Lakers Corner on any social media outlet right there for you as well. It is the Lakers coming back from a 3-2 road trip to face off against the Utah Jazz. And they got just a jolt to the rotation tonight. Gabe Vincent came back and got everybody excited. Oh, I'm sorry. LeBron James came back to the lineup tonight after dealing with sciatica for the past few weeks. It is his record-setting 23rd NBA season. How would he do tonight? How would it fit? How would it work? Yes, Gabe Vincent came back too. How would it work? But for the first half, offensively, 67 points from the team, but defensively, it looked pretty bad. I just said in the second half, for a team like Utah, they needed to focus in for about 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes in the third, 3 minutes in the third, and we could put in the fourth, and we could put this team away. And that's exactly what they did. Once they slowed down the offense of Utah, they focused in, and LeBron James came in that second half, provided some really good playmaking with 11 points and 12 assists. Luka, oh, by the way, he just scored 37 points tonight and 10 assists himself. And of course, Deandre Ayton with a solid game, 20 points and 14 rebounds. Austin Reaves had an under the radar, but still very effective second half for him with 26 points himself. Jake LaRavia came off the bench for 16, and the Lakers cruised in that second half to a 140 to 125 victory. They're now 11-4, still very high up on the upper half of the Western Conference. And here today to go ahead and discuss today's game, a good man indeed. Please go ahead and support him today at Simblades. Simblades with the Y.com. Also as well, the Joe Soro Experiment on Playback and the Joe Soro Experiment on YouTube. It is Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. I think you froze on me. I'm going to have to hide you for a second. Hopefully we can get that back going. Looks like we lost Joe because he is frozen. Yeah, he is frozen right now. Joe, can you hear me? There you go. I think I got you back. Can you hear me, Joe? Joe, can you hear me? Joe is frozen right now. Yeah, it looks like hopefully you'll get him back on the air. But again, the Lakers just put enough together defensively to make it stick in that third quarter. And then early in the fourth quarter, they distanced themselves by almost, actually it was over a 20-point lead at one time. Brought the guys in as far as the scrubs in for the last couple minutes. Didn't look good there. But the Lakers, again, pulling away for a 140 to 125 victory. LeBron in his first action back looked rough. They didn't gel well in that first half, but in that second half, it looked a lot better. A little bit more playmaking from LeBron, and it showed. His passing was really good in that second half. He found Deandre Ayton several times, found Jake LaRavia, found the guys he needed to find, and absolutely worked out a lot better for the Lakers in that second half. And again, they focused in on just playing some pretty solid defense in the latter part of that third quarter to start pulling away, taking over the lead, and then pulling away with the victory tonight. So Search and Destroy says John is coughing up ravioli sickness, something like that indeed. But it's great to have you guys here. Hopefully Joe can figure out the bugaboos going on with his signal right now. Hopefully we can get him back on, and also as well Legend as well. Hopefully come on, and some of the other guys hopefully will come on this evening. But Shakiro is really liking what Jake is putting out there tonight as far as 16 points, two-way player. Solid as far as the offensive end. Defensively, I don't know if anybody can really take home a great defensive prize. Again, once they focused on the defense for just that little bit, it worked out and obviously got them the lead in that third quarter and then got them that separation that they need. But whatever you give up at 125 points to a team, it's not a great mark defensively. And again, as we saw, 71 points in that first half, not exactly to write home about for the defense. But again, that second half, they focused in more on what they need to focus on, cut down the turnovers, which were also a problem throughout the game as well. And we're able to go ahead and get the victory, pulling away 140 to 125. Great to have you guys here. What's up, Richard? Fake Talk. No Joker. What's going on? Cool, bro. Love you guys in the chat. Hopefully all is well with you. Again, great victory to see LeBron back in the lineup. Again, a good start for me, better than what I expected as far as the playmaking in that second half. It really started to look good in that second half, and I'm really hoping that this will continue on for the next game coming up this Sunday in Utah. Trayvon said, I love my Lakers. And Oklahoma couldn't go to last. No worries. There's still more opportunities. The Lakers will take another venture out there to OKC, but great for you to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Truly blessed in order for you to do so. Serge, what's going on? Nibel, great to have you here as well. I truly appreciate it. I agree, OKC is not scary anymore. They should be still scary to you, Nibel. I know you're saying, I knew tonight's game would bring out someone, or at least one more, to start calling the Lakers the best team in the NBA, title contenders, whatnot. I just tell you, Nibel, slow down. Slow down. Again, they're not the best team in the NBA yet. Let's not anoint them that, because when we start talking like that, there's flaws. They start to show up. People get injured. We need to see how this looks throughout the course of the season. We need to see if the Lakers can stay healthy throughout the course of the season and what this will look like past the trade deadline and going into the playoffs. So let's not anoint the Lakers yet, because OKC right now, still, as they proved last week, they are deservedly at the head of the class right now with only one loss right now. So again, until you go into their place and beat OKC, let's just slow down a little bit. The Lakers are a better team in the mix, absolutely. And playing like this, they are better. But their defense showed, especially in that first half, they do have some things they need to work out. Joe, you're back on, my friend. Your impressions on the game for you, my friend.
It's a tale of two halves. The irritation with Utah first half, and then the decimation of Utah in the second half. So it was just one of those games where I couldn't stand Utah for most of the game because they just kept hitting shots left and right, not missing. But I really got excited when LeBron was basically turned into Magic Johnson for about 10 minutes. I'm thinking to myself, if LeBron can do that the rest of the year, I think the Lakers are going to be in pretty damn good shape.
Absolutely. Again, they will be in good shape, Joe. But as I told you, there's going to be people that are already anointing the Lakers the champions. And I just said, tell them, slow down. We do not know how this will look throughout the course of the season, Joe, and then how this will look in the playoffs. Again, OKC should still be considered the favorite at this point in time, especially after what we saw on Wednesday. I understand getting LeBron back is going to be a big boost to this team. Defensively, it wasn't pretty in that first half, giving up 71 points. But when these Lakers focus on the defensive end, like we saw in the third quarter, that back end of the third quarter, early part of the fourth quarter, when they took over the lead and actually got some distance, you can see when they focus in, they cut down their turnovers, they play hard on defense. You can see the playmaking skill, that three different playmakers out there and what they can do.
I really liked that JJ didn't play Vando today. That was a nice sign of it looks and Reddick's has been doing he's been making some good calls during the year.
Mm-hmm.
And not playing Vando a minute, not even in garbage time. And I know most guys that are regulars aren't playing garbage time, but it really allowed the offense to at least stay within the parameters of what the Jazz were playing way above their heads on. And, Luka is Luka at this point. Is there any way we can look at this guy and not go, this guy? I mean, that alley-oop to Ayton when I think it was Nurkic just turned his head for a second. This guy sees the game much like LeBron did in that third quarter and fourth quarter. They just see the game about a half a step faster than everybody. And the only thing they need right now, honestly, they need one more guy that can play defense. They just need one more guy. I'm crossing my fingers that Rob can somehow figure out a way to trade something for somewhere for someone who can play a little bit of 3-and-D type defense. That's really all this team needs. Now Marcus Smart comes in and he does his thing, and that's good in terms of the backcourt thing. But if they can get one more defender, one more wing defender in some way, then they're going to be an interesting team when they start playing Oklahoma City, and obviously when they get into the playoffs and play some really, really strong teams. I've been enjoying the greatness of Luka and seeing how LeBron acclimated pretty quick today. And what I saw was I had not been that excited watching LeBron play in a while. Those passes, that passing display was seriously, like I was screaming pretty much for like 5-10 minutes nonstop. man, if he decides to be that guy, and we know that the last time he became an assist man, won us an assist title in 2020, the Lakers did pretty well at the end of the year with that. This is a completely different team. Obviously, I'm not going to hold them to that, but they seem to like each other. They seem to have chemistry together. And usually, if you like each other and you got a lot of talent, you're on your way to getting things going the way you should.
And I'm happy for everyone. I mean, Joe, I called it. People are already anointing the Lakers the 2026 NBA champions. And I'm happy for your positivity, guys. Trust me, I am. But I have to look at things in a realistic fashion. This does make the Lakers better. This does make the Lakers substantially better. Does it get to where we needed to go, where they're beating Denver or OKC? I have to see it, guys, because we have to see how it works out on the floor. Because last season with LeBron, with Luka, with AR, it didn't work out quite so well. AR is an improved player since then. We've gotten Ayton. Luka is in shape and playing at an MVP level. So it looks, in theory, like it's a lot better. We're deeper now because we've got Marcus Smart and LaRavia coming off the bench. It looks a lot better now, Joe. But again, until we face in those matchups against those top teams, I want to hold and reserve judgment. And again, health is a key, because if this team isn't healthy by April, man, then all this will be for naught.
That's commentary for everybody. Whoever's healthy is gonna have a better chance at winning, and that's how it's been in the NBA the last 3 years. Injuries, I've seen injuries absolutely derail title wins. We saw it with Indiana. We saw it with Dallas the year before then. It's held Miami in 2023. They were pretty much fried rice playing Denver in the finals. And the Lakers don't have a lot of old guys on their team. They have LeBron, and then they sort of have Marcus Smart. Everybody else is young. Everybody else is in their mid-20s to just getting into their late 20s. I'm not really too worried about injuries with this team, at least not right now. It'd have to be something freakish. What I'd like to see is somehow Rob getting at least one more defender on this team before February. I think that would go a long way in putting them in a position. And I'm going to start looking into what possibilities are out there to where it would make sense for the Lakers. And there's always one, right? It's just a matter of, can you make it work? And what are his trade? What is his trade partners? What are the ones that are going to likely do trades with him? Is it going to be Washington? Is it going to be Cleveland? Those are the things we got to look at and see how this team can just get at least a little bit more reinforcement, so that when they do match up with Denver, Oklahoma City, Houston down the road, because those guys are going to play defense. Houston and Oklahoma City specifically. Denver, I don't know, not so much. I think Denver, as great as Jokic is playing, I still would say if the Lakers are on point, I think they can challenge them. Houston, I think, is also another team that I think if the Lakers are playing well, they can challenge them. It's going to come down to Oklahoma City. If there is that matchup, can they bust out the confidence now that Oklahoma City has, that typical champions that are on the rise get once they win a championship? Because it's not, those guys don't look like they're slowing down. It doesn't look like they're ever going to slow down, at least not for the next 5 to 6 years. They could slow down a little bit because they're going to probably have to lose some of their players due to Oklahoma City likely not wanting to pay a large luxury tax, but they will be able to get reinforcements due to all of the draft capital that they do have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, I would feel better about it, like you said, because of what they may go through as far as the salary tax is concerned, but they've got so many other options for trades, for draft choices to reinforce themselves with cheaper rising young stars at an auction, as far as that's concerned. They could find diamonds in the rough like AJ Mitchell. Who's to say that they're not going to be able to find more good players in upcoming years? So we'll have to wait and see. Again, I want to see how this looks, guys, and want to see how this, by the end of the year, by March, let's see how this looks. Can the Lakers stay up in that top 3, top 4 with Houston and Denver? You guys can't count out Jokic right now because he's having another video game like season, and Gordon's playing well alongside him, and Jamal Murray's actually starting the season hot for him. I know they lost last night, but they're still 10-3. So they can't be sneezed at. And Houston has the best offense statistically right now in the NBA, so you can't count them out either. And Detroit on the other side, if they we talked about it during playback, if Detroit gets a Markkanen, that could put them at the top of the food chain in the East. So we'll see what happens there. But wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to No Joker in the chat, Cheap Koopa for the Aussies on the super chat. Also as well, wanted to hit up Logan. He also dropped a super chat as well. Truly appreciate it. Going to go ahead and read in there because he was talking about Luka having another great game with 37 points for him. Took over in that third quarter. You're right. What a beast. Absolutely. That's what you need. Those bursts from those guys. Reaves having his moment. 26 points for him, Joe. 20 points and 14 rebounds for Deandre Ayton. We got to look tonight at what it might look like continuously for the Lakers down the road, which is giving these guys some hope, and that's a good thing.
Well, if you're looking at it from last year, let's say, how different would the results have been had the Lakers had Deandre Ayton, LaRavia, Marcus Smart? I think they make a difference. I don't think they lose to Minnesota in 5. And a healthy Luka on top of that. So looking at that as the barometer, you can say who's really improved since then, since last year. Who's the same? Well, Oklahoma City's the same. San Antonio has improved. The problem there is now Wemby is starting to get some chronic injuries here. When you start seeing 2 years in a row where your main guy is going to be out for at least a month or two, that's a bad sign, right? So San Antonio now kind of takes a back seat. You have Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. They're obviously hovering there. Houston's playing well because they've got Durant and a young team. Denver and Oklahoma City are going to be doing what they're doing because they have MVPs on their team in their prime and good supporting casts. The Lakers are going to have to obviously earn this. Looking at the East, you have some surprises there with Detroit, a little bit of Toronto, obviously, and Philadelphia's healthy, so they're playing a little bit better. But I'm not really too worried about the East. I think the Lakers are not likely going to worry about the East. But being in the West, how this plays out, I'm not trying to wish any ill will towards anybody, and hopefully everybody stays healthy. But with the way the NBA is right now, especially what Steve Kerr came out with today, saying that they have analytics and they have data that says the game has moved too quick and the guys are getting too many soft tissue issues, soft tissue injuries in the NBA, which I just find it hilarious that it's Steve Kerr that's talking about this kind of stuff because he's as soft as Charmin in the rain, and he sort of comes from that load management area of Greg Popovich, right?
Yeah.
So we've had some solutions. I think I've discussed some of the solutions, and for some weird reason, Adam Silver does not seem to. He's not fixing this issue. As a matter of fact, he made it worse by having a stupid ass NBA Cup, and then on top of that, you have a play-in. So not only did he not minimize the 82-game season, he expanded it. There could be a team that can play 85 games before they hit the real playoffs, right? So that's how he responded to that. And if these guys signed the deal, they signed the TV deal knowing that they wanted more money and that they you can't bitch and whine, okay, Mr. Kerr. You can't bitch and whine for your quote unquote players and then sign the deal that you signed without even having any kind of discussion. You guys had a chance to say something there. You didn't. Why? Because you wanted the money. Okay, now shut the fuck up then. If you guys are going to keep getting injured because you guys are playing too hard or too fast, how stupid does that sound? Seriously, how stupid does that sound, especially coming from a head coach? I mean, as soft as you can be. This is why. These guys are playing more than ever, right? LeBron just broke a record again. He's playing in his 23rd season. So is it really that bad? But I have a solution. I've had solutions. But they don't want to change it. But they'll bitch about it, but they won't change it.
Fake talk. I don't think Joe actually said the Lakers were the best team in the NBA. I think you're misconstruing his words intentionally, I might add. So good try, though. Good try. It's back up there, Joe. It wasn't he said about halfway through, right after you had made the statement.
Yeah, when I was signed on directly into Talk Studio, I think that's always been the problem. Is I don't know why, but we don't click very well with the internet, with the communication when I'm on there.
No worries.
Yeah, so I had to click on the link, and I've been.
Well, yeah, basically, he was taking your words and just twisting it.
Well, he's been doing that. He's been doing that a lot. He just keeps lying on the chat.
I'm sure you're betting that $50,000. I'll tell you what. Email it to us, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. The ticket stub, the actual stub, or the actual app, but most likely be a stub because I don't. Do apps take those betting apps take 50 grand on the Lakers to win the championship? I don't know if you could bet that high amount, but if you can, love to see it. So love to see that post receipt. You spent $50,000 on betting for the Lakers in the championship. So love to see that because we'd love to have it posted here on the site. That would be incredible. But once again, the Lakers, they do get the victory. 140-125. Fake talk, you're starting something. Started some trouble. That's funny. You're funny. Search and Destroy. Great to have you here. Thank you so much again for joining us. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. Again, a great sign to see LeBron in that second half integrate himself a lot better, got more comfortable. It was rusty in the first half, especially on the defensive end, and that's something that the Lakers have to work out. Getting more size too is what I would hope they also do, Joe, because we saw Jackson Hayes on the offensive end look pretty good, especially on his pick and rolls and whatnot. But on the defensive end, it's still kind of rough around the edges, and I still don't have enough faith in him on the defensive end. I think if we can find, like you said, a good defender along the wing and some size to help back up Ayton, I think then fake talk, maybe we can talk more about what you're planning or what you're betting
on. We're getting a lot of random questions here on the Lakers show. But
that we do. But JY, I'm trying to answer as best I can. Oh, you also talked about the free throws. Is that a concern? They were 73% as a team.
Yes,
but that's Luka. That's Luka and LeBron, Joe. That's what they are. They're 75%. That's what they are, and they don't ever seem to change.
Well, Luka, I know it doesn't sound like much. It doesn't sound like much, but that extra 5% really means a lot, especially when it comes to someone who handles the basketball as much as Luka. Now, Luka has been pretty good actually lately. He hit 13 of 16 today. And he hit 50% from the field. He wasn't really good from three, but I don't think
that's been an all season thing, Joe.
Yeah, I don't think I care at that point as long as he's doing what he's doing now.
Well, but LeBron is 2 of 3. If he and Rui can be consistent from 3, and LeBron can have a year, like I was saying, like he did 2 seasons ago. Like every now and then he becomes efficient LeBron. If he can be an efficient LeBron on the wing with Rui on the other side, it what it does, it creates a lot more open space for Luka and AR, and also as well Ayton running those pick and rolls. It just helps the team a lot if they can find two consistent shooters, and with Rui and maybe LeBron as well.
Well, you interesting. You mentioned Rui. Rui is. I do like Rui, and most of the time, almost all the time. I know who he is. He is what he is, and good team player, can shoot. He's got his moments. I actually think that Rui might be the guy that the Lakers will have to dangle in combination with hopefully somebody like Vando to go get somebody. I think that's the player they need to use to bring in a 3-and-D type guy. Who that is, again, I'm gonna be looking into this a little bit more. There isn't anything that's kind of on the table. We're too early in the season to really know who's going to sell off, quote unquote. Usually the NBA doesn't do that like baseball does, but maybe this year might be the year where the Lakers have to figure something out there, because this is likely the last year you're going to see this team together, which is with LeBron, and for all we know, maybe even Austin. So I think there needs to be some kind of process here between now and February where the Lakers need to use the little talent that they do have and some matching contracts to go get someone that can play defense. If they can get someone that can be reliable on defense and can hit a few shots here and there for someone like Rui, and then putting a Vando in there or whatever to make the contracts work, because now I'm thinking to myself, okay, so Rui's making $18 million a year. You got Vando who's making 11. Yeah, his contract is, out there, but I'm thinking there's somebody out there that's like, hey man, maybe we can get rid of this $30 million contract for something, right? Like, again,
I know
there's
Wiggins seems to be an infatuation for a lot of people.
I didn't mention Wiggins, even though that would be ideal, because I know that Pat Riley's not going to make that deal. Huh?
Yeah. That's 2 seasons for him, around 30. 20,
yeah. It would be, and I'm not a fan of his. I think his motor sucks. But
agreed.
But I do think his defense would matter. I think his defense would really make a difference, and he can make shots. He'd be ideal, but the Lakers would likely have to give up draft capital in that deal. What the Lakers need is they need someone that they need a team that needs to unload on a bigger contract. But then you're playing with, are the Lakers wanting bigger contracts after this year in 2025? So it's this thing where Rob's going to have to figure out a way to make something happen.
Stefan, you're hilarious, my friend. Great to have you here. He said, surprise, Joe keeps saying we need a 3-and-D guy. Did you forget we had Bronny on the roster? Bronny, he hit that 3 early in his garbage time minute, a couple minutes, but as we saw the rest of Bronny's showcase, it's still very ugly. Again, I'm Drew Timme from the South Bay Lakers, journeyman, but the guy can score. I would love to see him move into Coloco's two-way. They also, I know that was mentioned, Kobe Buffkin, a former first-round draft pick with the Atlanta Hawks. He's also on the South Bay Lakers. I would love him to take Chris Mannion's spot. You have 2 guys there that have played a ton of minutes in the NBA. I think those guys would be better fits right now as your two-ways going forward, possibly even out, jumping into the spots of Bronny and Maxi Kleber, who right now clearly showcase themselves as probably the worst 2 guys on the team right now as far as the guaranteed spots are concerned. I mean, they do have options to help fill up some holes, but like you said, Joe, to really, really catapult this team into that conversation, they're going to need, I think, a little bit more.
Yeah,
Young, he's not. Chris Mannion, he did well in the summer league for Golden State, but he's done nothing. He's done nothing, Young. And if you don't have any plans for him, it's time to move on.
I'm going to be looking at Memphis closely. That's kind of the team I'm sort of staring at in terms of a possible trade partner.
Mm-hmm.
Although I, I don't know, I don't know what I don't know how Memphis will look at helping the Lakers in this. What would you think about a Brandon Clark on the Lakers? You think he would?
And he gets so in, he gets in. Joe, he would get injured walking from your bedroom to the front door.
Could they inject? Because I'm trying to think. Can we say a prayer and he doesn't get injured, and then he'd be what we need, and then it'd be a deal that would be realistic to happen?
Well, he adds some size, definitely, and I don't know how much athleticism he still has left, but the Brandon Clark that I used to know used to have a ton of athleticism, but he's injured literally every single year, Joe, and it's hard to sustain any faith for a guy on that. If they take Vando's contract, I'm willing to play ball, Joe, because Vando's contract is still sitting on your books for another 2 years beyond this. So if that's the case, or three, anyways, it's a little while. So if we can get rid of Vando's contract, I'm pretty cool with that. But we also have, remember, Gabe and Maxi, those are expiring contracts. So again, right around the trade deadline, we should know who the buyers and sellers are. Gabe and Maxi's contract will also become more valuable, like you said with Ruiz, like you said with Austin's, like you said with any of these expiring contracts. And yes, I had to say Austin because he's an expiring contract as well. You have to look. Didn't say the Lakers are going to trade him, but you have to include these guys as far as those expiring contracts because they get more valuable closer to the deadline when those sellers try to go ahead and look for expiring money.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I was even thinking about what if Memphis is 10-40, and they're like, "Screw this, we're going to send
At this
Moran
rate.
out." Do they send Triple J out?
Well, that's what I've been talking about, Joe, with on my NBA observations with Caleb Ponce. He's not sold on it yet, but if they do trade Ja, I would love to see San Antonio make a Triple J to De'Aaron Fox trade. And because Triple J and Wembanyama along the front line, I would think they're very interchangeable. Both can stretch it out from three, both can block shots. Triple J doesn't get in foul troubles as much because he's got Wembanyama there. I think it works really well, but I don't think they'll do it because again, John Morant, who's going to take that contract with John Morant right now? No contract is untradeable. We've seen that, but John Morant shooting 18% from three right now, Joe, and not getting in the lane like he used to. That's a harder sell than it once was.
I think they're gonna when Wemby gets back. I think they're gonna give that a shot. I think the other trade partner. I think probably the most realistic trade partner will likely be New Orleans. That's going to be an interesting one.
Just send another point guard to the New Orleans.
The other thing is the Lakers have to make a decision
Send
too.
him for Zion. Wouldn't that be funny? Ja for Zion.
Oh yeah, that would be funny.
The number 1 and 2 picks.
What
from that draft?
What are the Lakers? Are the Lakers willing to take on a big contract that's extended beyond 2025 to win this year?
Good question.
It's going to be, and I'm going to say this now. It's going to be. You're going to be a genius if it works, and Rob will be the dumbest guy ever if it doesn't work. It's kind of like baseball. You put the right guy in, he makes the play, you're a genius. If he doesn't make the play, you're an idiot, right? That's pretty much what's left.
Young Lee, what do you have against Joe? Why is he a bozo? You keep throwing that out there when you two are on the air together, as far as you in the chat and he's out here. Why is he a bozo?
I don't
elaborate.
He doesn't exist to me. It doesn't matter.
Jay, that's right. Herb Jones can't be traded until mid-January. But once January 15th comes about, guys, and almost virtually the entire league is eligible for trade, then the options really start for the Lakers on what they can trade for. And as we get closer to the trade deadline, again, you will see, Joe, who the buyers and sellers are going to be. And the bad starts for the Clippers, the Grizzlies, the bad start for the Wizards, the bad start for the Nets, the bad starts for some of these teams that we've seen already. Yeah, I mean, New Orleans, whatnot. I mean, so that's going to dictate a lot of what hopefully will be some options for the Lakers to shore up some needs and make it closer for them to be able to compete at a high level, even at a championship level this season. Uh-oh. What's going on? Let's give a shout out for LeBron passing Reggie Miller for
I guess apparently I don't know basketball well enough, so I've just invited Fuckface to come on here and tell me what he knows.
It was just a throw out there. John Morant to the Pelicans again.
You know basketball? Come on the show and let's talk. This is as much as face to face as I can do, unfortunately, unless you guys live in the area here. Come on to the show. Gerald's very accommodating, and show me what you know that I don't know about NBA basketball.
Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. You hit me up. I'll send you the link. We've had people come on before that have challenged Joe. JY says, let's give a shout out to this. In his NBA record season, Joe, in his NBA record 23rd season, LeBron James did pass Reggie Miller for 6 all-time and 3-pointers made. I know that one did just popped out of nowhere, Joe. But again, we're going to be seeing LeBron as long as he stays out there. I don't think he'll play 65 games. I honestly don't think so. But even if that's the case, I think he's going to get a chance to pass up some records even more this season, Joe.
Well, LeBron's been playing for 50 years. Of course he's going to pass everybody in all the stats. The main thing for him right now is, will he do what he did today? What he did today in that short burst was beyond phenomenal. He does that, and the Lakers are going to click with Luka, without Luka on the court. I mean, they extended that lead with Luka on the bench.
Yeah,
when he was doing that. That's
exactly what you need.
You have no idea. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have him being you have no idea how valuable and how destructive that is to the opponent. Well, valuable for the Lakers and destructive for the opponent, because now you're dealing with, okay, here's Luka Doncic in his prime, MVP. He's shooting from half court. He's making it. He's making these passes. He's getting into the lane. He's getting to the basket. He's making. You can't stop the guy. And then, LeBron comes in and starts looking like Magic Johnson. I mean, he looked like Magic Johnson today. He was Magic Johnson. So now what? And we talked about this in terms of when one guy goes out, the other guy comes in. Now you have what? How are you going to combat either one? Like, you're screwed either way. And then the other one's sitting and resting. What did the LeBron? What did he play? How many minutes did he play today? 30 minutes.
He was scheduled to play 30
minutes. On the dot. That's exactly what he needs to do. LeBron needs to play 30 minutes, 29 to 30 minutes a game. If you get this kind of performance in 29 to 30 minutes from LeBron, this team's going to go a long way. If Luka goes into Sonic Boom mode, like he did in 2024, and he has this team, which I think has the potential of being better than the Dallas team, hey, we'll see.
What's also as important is seeing Luka at only 34 and Austin Reaves at 33 minutes, because those guys were playing in the high 30s, low 40s for minutes all season long. And to see them having even a little bit of a breather is what I'm hoping for. If we can reduce their minutes and still be effective, during the course of the season, that rest, that less minutes played, it adds up, Joe. Just like if you keep playing those minutes, it adds up as well. I'm hoping that that's going to be the case, and we can see Doncic and Reaves be a little bit fresher towards April because of what LeBron and the rest of the guys in the rotation can do to help alleviate some of those big, heavy minutes for Doncic and Reaves. What are you typing in now?
Oh,
well, Nibel, it was quoted by JJ earlier today. I think that they're thinking that 35 minutes, what he averaged last year, was still what they were going to target. I'm hoping that that's not going to be the case, Nibel, but I'm just
I have to see
said by JJ earlier today.
I have to see how LeBron continues his comeback right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if LeBron is going to want to continue to play the way he played today. That I don't know. Is he going to want to score more? Is he going to? This LeBron was perfect for what this team was doing today. How's it going to work when he needs to play a little bit more defense? Those are the questions and those are the answers we're going to get later. Utah's a good team, but and I say good teams, and as in they've got some good guys that can score, but you saw that they can't really play any defense.
They can't put it together for 4 quarters yet.
No, not at all, because they don't play defense at all. They didn't play any defense, and then once the shot stopped going in, then that's when the Lakers made their run, and their spacing sucked. They weren't really able to fundamentally keep up with the Lakers once LeBron and Luka really wanted to show their skills. So it's very hard. It's very hard to assess a lot after 15 games. But I will say this, 11-4 is a hell of a record to start the year.
It's above my expectations right
now. That
is
a great record. Because I thought
the way that they've been hurt.
I thought 9-6 it would be good.
With the guys that have been out. Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
11-4 is damn good. Damn good. And what they have to battle is their own mortality. Can they make it through an 82-game season, which is everybody's issue right now? And I'm not feeling too threatened by Denver or Houston, even though they will be formidable, because they still have Durant, who's 100 years old. How long is he going to last? Can he last? We don't know that. Jokic is going to do Jokic things, but I really have liked how the Lakers have played him the last year or so. I think they've kind of gotten a little bit of a formula there with him. It's going to come down to Jamal Murray and Gordon and those guys. Are those guys going to stay healthy by the end of the year? So there's that there. The problem is really Oklahoma City. They're going to be the issue in the end because they do have the young studs and they have the depth on top of that, and they have the confidence, and they're the champs. So if all things considered, if everything is the same as it is now at the end of an 82-game season, then I would say you have Luka Doncic. You still have a savvy LeBron James. And you're going to have a bunch of motivated guys like Austin, Ayton, Rui, and those guys, if he's still there, to where, I don't know, can you make it work? Will there be an injury that opens the path a little bit for them? That question is a legitimate question now, where it wasn't as much of a question before the last few years, where you rarely saw a name player not make it through, like KG in 09 and, that type of effect. Durant getting hurt in the finals in 2019. That was kind of like, those were two, like, man, we really lost out on those guys not being healthy at that time. But now it's becoming a yearly thing. Now it's becoming the big names are getting hurt. and we don't know how that will play out, but it could play out. It could play out somewhere. We just don't know if it'll be for the Lakers.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 140 to 125. They're now 11-4 on the season right now. As it stands at this point, they are fourth place in the Western Conference. And Joe, again, having LeBron back helps out the rotation a little bit more. But I said coming into the season that the bench needed to be improved upon. The Lakers had one of the worst benches in the NBA last season. And I said if it gets close to 30 points a game, I think that's a substantial increase. And that's a much better, more satisfactory bench that would help the Lakers and also hopefully shave off the minutes for some of the top guys so that they could be a little bit fresher over the course of the season. Well, today, not counting the garbage time minutes, the Lakers from their bench got 35 points, I believe is what I calculated. So that is a big plus. Jake LaRavia with 16 points tonight. I know that our guy, John Costa, again, feel better, John. Our thoughts are with you, my friend. Talked a lot of smack. I was driving home from the Allegiant Stadium and I heard what he was saying about Jake LaRavia and how he's bothered by Jake LaRavia and all that. Dismayed by his friendship with Austin Reaves, et cetera, et cetera. But this is the guy who's on the mid-level. He's on the mid-level for 2 years. He's young, 23. He's going to have his ups and downs. But again, if you can get this kind of 10 to 15 point a game performance from him coming out the bench, giving some okay defense, it isn't standout defense by any, mind you, but by any way, but it is okay for what it is. Your thoughts, my friend, on it? I like it. I know that a lot of people are really into Ravioli, as they called him, and I'm happy. Again, he's giving us something that we didn't have this time last season.
He plays well when he's maybe against teams that are not as aggressive, not as
talented,
rabid. And it's still early in the season. He may improve as the season goes on. I don't know where I stand on LaRavia yet. I'm encouraged so far. I think there's a lot of good things that are developing there. Consistency is always the hardest thing in the NBA for guys that are kind of tweeners. I hope that LaRavia can continue to build the knowledge and have the confidence, because he's going to get the ball from LeBron and Luka. He's going to get the ball. So it's going to be up to him to do what he did tonight. And for guys like Ayton and him to do what they did tonight, they were moving. They were going to the basket. They were diving. All those passes that LeBron was making was also due to the fact that these guys were not sitting there and standing around and watching. Don't sit and watch. Keep moving. Get to the basket. LeBron will get you the ball. Luka will get you the ball. If you guys have the game on DVR, that pass that Luka gave Ayton when Nurkic just he didn't know where he was. He turned around just to see where Luka was. And in that split second that he was trying to look for Luka, Luka threw it right over his head. And by the way, guys, Nurkic looks like a building. He looks like a building on TV. When someone looks big on TV, they are huge in real life. I learned that when I saw Shaq in real life. If you guys think Shaq is big on TV, you have no idea, especially when he wears baggy clothes. And when you see him in baggy clothes, he looks like an entire arena. That's how big he is, right? Nurkic is a big dude. That's Luka. Luka is so good at knowing what to do when he does it. It's not. I think you take it for granted, and LeBron is the same way. It's just that LeBron hasn't been playing for a while, so it was kind of, I guess, a reoccurring revelation. Oh wow, LeBron is still pretty damn good at getting people involved and passing the ball at the right time. That's why those guys are all-time greats. And when you feed the beasts, when you feed the big men and you feed the guys that are kind of in that area where they're sort of, can I do this? Am I confident enough? Man, I'm telling you right now, man, it's going to benefit you over an 82 game season. It's just that the Lakers do need to think about what's coming. And what's coming is, if they are going to compete and possibly go deep into the playoffs, they're going to need to have certain guys do things to combat the higher you get up in that level during the playoffs. They do need some defense. And I think Rob needs to use some of the limited assets that he does have and try and see if he can improve this team, at least defensive wise. Because I do think if Marcus Smart stays healthy, obviously, I think he's going to benefit. And he's already benefited in my book. If you can get another wing guy that can play some defense and hit a couple shots, timely shots every now and then, I think then things could get interesting with the Lakers.
Yeah, again, it is just 15 games into the season, so I don't want to put too much into it. And as Jovan Buha said and scolded his community out there, don't overthink things when it comes to LeBron in the lineup. Well, don't overthink things and just automatically ticket the Larry O'Brien trophy for them and engrave the Lakers name on it just yet. Let's see how this plays out over the course of the next 67 games this season. I am encouraged by what I saw tonight, but again, it was against an under 500 team. So we need to put things in perspective, Joe. Again, a really solid performance offensively. I said going in with this starting lineup, Joe, the way it was, the way I had said before the season it was going to be in there, they have a top 5 offense. The key, like you said, is on the defensive end. How much can they get out of the starting lineup defensively? How much can they get out of this rotation defensively in order to overcome any kind of stuttering in the offense? But it's going to be hard to see because this offense seems to be, even with LeBron, even better than what it was before.
Correct, but it's still Utah. Utah doesn't play any defense.
Yeah.
They're going to need to.
I'm trying to temper their enthusiasm, but
well, I'm not the tempering.
I'm glad to see it though.
Tempering is not the issue. It's more of the NBA today is different than it was 7-8 years ago. Even you have to factor in that since 2019 you've had one champion in each of those years. So in 19 the Toronto Raptors won, Lakers, Milwaukee, Warriors, Denver, Boston, Oklahoma City. It's singular teams that haven't won. You're talking about 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 7 straight years where it's a different team. It's a different team. 7 years is a long time. They used to have contracts in the NBA that were 7 years. So parity has arrived in the NBA, which is I'm on record saying is stupid. The NBA works better when there's dynasties, when there's a perennial team that's winning consistently. But for some reason, Adam Silver and whatever shot callers are involved in this, they want to create an NFL type atmosphere. And the thing is, the game has gotten shittier from that. You can't compare this to the NFL. And the irony in that is the NFL has even less parity once you have an elite quarterback. The Kansas City Chiefs, and it looks like it might end this year, but you never know. They've had the same damn team in the AFC Championship game for 7 straight years. Yet I'm being told by idiots who don't know anything. By the way, that idiot that was here went away as soon as I called him out. What a surprise, huh? How many times has that happened when we finally say, all right, motherfucker, come over here and tell us to our face on the screen what you know? And they always go away. Do you ever notice? Do you notice that when we do that?
Yes.
Where is that coward? Is he still listening?
I do not know if young.
Do not ever tell us we don't know basketball. We will clown you upside down, inside out, bitch. We know this game. We know it very well. So Don't you want to yap on the show? Come on the show and yap. So that I just wanted to send that out a little bit.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
The Lakers and the NBA and what's going on with that is it's too unpredictable at this point. I mean, Wemby is out now for a month. Giannis is going to be out for 2 weeks. We don't know what's going to happen in a month. And again, knock on wood, I'm not wishing this on anybody. What if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets hurt? Now what? Because this shit's been happening. Tatum's gone. Halliburton's gone. And these guys, Halliburton, I still feel very, very confident that if Halliburton did not get hurt in Game 7, Indiana is probably winning the championship. That's how close it was. Because I also thought that Rick Carlisle did some of the best coaching I've seen in a long time. It's probably the best coaching I've seen since Popovich in 2014. Just amazing, right? And we can't. I would say if I had to give you a way to look at this for the rest of the year, enjoy the ride a little bit, and maybe don't think about what's going to happen, at the end of the year. Enjoy the ride. I'm going to enjoy the ride and wait for things to develop. But I do think for sure, if the Lakers don't get another defender on this team, it's going to be that much more difficult for them to go all the way. It's already difficult now. It's just LeBron is playing in his 23rd season, and he's your second highest paid player on the team. Common sense tells you that a 41-year-old is not likely going to. This is not football where you're protected by the rules. LeBron has to dribble the ball. LeBron has to play defense. It's a different game. And when he starts to play in February and March, is the sciatic going to come back? Is he going to hurt his groin? It's too much. It's just too much that you have to wait on before you can actually commit to anything at this point. So I'm enjoying the 11-4 start, especially considering I just came off a World Series, a baseball season that was as crazy a season as I think I've ever seen in baseball. Because in baseball, you don't see this kind of stuff. Baseball is usually random, and that's it. I saw everything. I saw random, I saw good, I saw bad. I saw some of the craziest plays I've ever seen, plays that should have never happened, that happened. And in the end, I'm sitting there exhausted, thinking, what's next? Like, I need to go take a vacation from watching a baseball game, for God's sakes. Like, how stupid am I, right? But the Lakers kind of helped me transition into going from all that craziness and being still happy about what was going on there. But then they're winning, and now, hey, Jeff hit me up. Empire Jeff hit me up. He was at the game tonight.
That's good.
So he's trying to get back into basketball, and again, guys like Luka, and of course what LeBron did tonight makes it much easier to get back into the game. But we're here. We're going to watch it anyways. But it is much better when they're winning.
And I would, again, as I said earlier, I think Serge and I are in agreement, along with an athletic individual that can play defense along the perimeter. I would love to also see some size, because I think the Lakers would have a tough matchup in a series with OKC, Houston, who can throw out two skilled 7-footers out there to command the boards. And I think that is something that is becoming more commonplace in the league, as far as throwing size out there at other teams to see if they can command the boards. We see it in New York with Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns. We see it also as well in Detroit, where they're doing the bad boys things with Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart is, people called him a thug and things like that, the deal he did with LeBron and all that, but he is playing well and shooting from distance and still providing them with a lot of interior defense, along with Jalen Duren as well, who's just absolutely a monster out there. So Yeah, if the Lakers could add some size and then also a defender on the perimeter, I think I would feel more confident, Joe. And hopefully Rob will do that, but I'm not sure because again, is Rob on those two different time frames where he's just seeing how the Lakers will compete this season, but actually focusing a lot of his efforts on the next 2 summers ahead?
That is probably the biggest question because I feel pretty confident that there's going to be players available, players that will help. But will they have to? But the only way I think they're going to be able to get those guys with the assets they have now without giving up to crazy draft capital is they're going to have to take on contracts that are going to go beyond 26 and 27. That's the question. Unless they get lucky, which that's not out of the question either, right? They freaking got Luka for nothing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. There's
Thank you, Nico.
anything is possible, but looking at it from, let's say, the miracles aside, I think that's the decision that is going to be the hardest for LA to make.
The thing is, though, Johnny Thibault, yes, good defender and all that, but there's a reason why he doesn't play a whole lot for Portland. Is just it's another Vando out there offensively where he is just so inept on the offensive end. At least Herb Jones is a good defender or has been noted in the past as a high level defender who can hit enough shots for you to be a threat on the offensive end. I mean, I don't think you're going to get Trey Murphy, who is a sensational two-way player, but because I think that if New Orleans is smart, they're going to keep him and trade Zion away and build around Trey and hopefully some other pieces as well for them. But yeah, at this point in time, I'm hoping that the Lakers will get someone that will not totally be ineffective on the offensive end because as we saw before with Vando, it just is hard to keep him out there because he's just so ineffective on that end of the ball. And you saw tonight, Joe, DNP tonight that as soon as this team gets healthy, it's in, it has all of its available players. We see who the guys are that are in, and we see who the guys that are out right now.
I have been very happy with JJ's decision making so far this year. Today was good in terms of not having Vando play. Vando is a momentum destroyer. That's why there's such harsh assessment on him. When you've watched, and I say you as in myself and friends of mine that are Laker fans, we watched Kwame Brown play for 2 years for the Lakers. It was by far the most aggravating, the most gut-wrenching 2 years of basketball for us to watch because we saw all-time seasons by Kobe Bryant, all-time individual seasons and amazing games, but it's still about winning. And as good as he was, let's say, as a stationary defender, he destroyed momentum because of him not being able to do the basic basketball activities. And Vando is that guy. If Vando had played tonight, it would have been, I think Utah would have gone up 15 to 16 to 70 points. And who knows what would happen after that. Because he can't score. His defense, even though that's supposed to be his thing, he gets lost a lot. His basketball IQ is freaking horrendous. He's just not a good player in the sense of what you need to win game in and game out. He'd be better off in New Orleans and in Charlotte. No, he'd be masked over there. He can make those mistakes. Maybe the pressure would be less. But then again, Tim Conley traded him twice. Once in Denver and once in Minnesota. And Tim Conley's a pretty damn good GM. So what they thought they could maybe, I'm not sure if I'm still on by myself without Gerald, but I'll keep going. My my thought of the thinking of Vando coming to uh, LA was I think they were trying to see if they could get him at the right time. Maybe it wasn't working in Denver. Maybe it wasn't working in Minnesota, but maybe it'll work in LA. And that's happened before. That's not something that hasn't happened before. But I think we've seen it continue here in LA, and I think it's time that it's time to go. I'm not. I just don't want to deal with someone who's not able to do the basic basketball fundamentals. It's just not. Just can't do this. Can't do it. Can't do it. Mike Singletary time, right? Can't do it. Don't want it. Can't do it. But the Lakers made some acquisitions. They brought in some guys that filled in some gaps. Marcus Smart, a little bit of kind of the attitude. Obviously, he plays some good defense. Been getting a little foul trouble lately, so I don't I don't know if that's going to linger on throughout the year, but we'll have to see how that works out. DeAndre Ayton has been a great addition. He keeps playing well. So as far as those things, you don't need Vandal. You don't need Gabe Vincent. What can you do, Rob? I want to ask Rob, what can you do to get those two guys elsewhere so that maybe you can bring in some other guy that can fill in a gap that you're missing? And that's what it's gonna take. But I also think that whoever they do get is probably gonna likely be someone that they're gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to take on some payroll that's gonna extend beyond this coming year and the year maybe even after. So if they were looking at possibly getting a star in 2027, which is what my brain was at during the summer, hey, are they gonna kind of play this year out, let LeBron go off in the sunset, and then start building from there? Because there's going to be a lot of contracts that are going to drop off, right? So you got Rui's going to drop off, Austin's going to drop off, LeBron's going to drop off. So Gabe Vince's money is going to drop off. So you're going to have a lot of money to trade or to uh, acquire your next quote unquote star. Did you lose? Did you?
Sorry about that, Joe. At the storm here in Vegas, it's hidden pretty hard, so it took out quite a bit here. So I apologize for that,
Is that
everyone.
what's going on?
Yeah, it's pretty bad out here. I've got it hardwired, so I shouldn't have any issues. But yeah, it's pretty bad out here in Vegas. Been all day. Do apologize for that. Again, it's the Lakers coming right back at you here with a victory, 140-125. JY, we talked. That's a great question though, Joe. Theo, Thero, actually Thero, not Theo, but Adu Thero. I don't want to put too much on the kid, but athletic. Hopefully, his knee is going to stay in shape. What do you think he can bring maybe later on this season? Don't expect much right now, but once they get him in the groove, he does look very quick, athletic, and we've seen in just a little bits of time here and there so far in the first two games that maybe he could provide some athleticism and defense on the wings for you, Joe.
Man, that guy has the athleticism and the talent. If he's got the drive, he can be somebody special. That guy flies walking. You could see it. So I know that this is a shooting business now in the NBA. If he puts in the work, he can create enough of a shot possibly to be valuable there. But I've already seen him play a couple times, and his ability to get to the basket, and if you just give him the ball where he needs it, he's going to score. I feel very confident that if he stays if he's healthy, just like anything else, right? He's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Again,
Absolutely
very
interesting.
athletic.
We need this team. Look, athletes can make up a lot of ground during their development. And this team already has enough ball handlers. They already have I would say 3-point shooters to some degree. guys that can shoot threes and make them on a regular basis. What this team doesn't have is a guy that can fly out the building.
Well, I disagree with you on the three-pointers because they are one of the worst shooting teams from distance right now, the Lakers have. So hopefully LeBron is efficient LeBron this season and can bridge some of that gap, Joe.
Well, I mean, I feel pretty confident.
Luka and Austin have been terrible from three this season, and that's the majority of the
threat.
shots.
The threat of him shooting a lot of times is kind of plays into the effectiveness of the offense. It's the same with Austin too. It's the same with LaRavia when he gets going, he can make some shots. LeBron obviously hit a couple shots tonight. I don't know necessarily if I'm going by the percentages here, other than the fact that there is you have to think about it on defense. The opponent has to think, oh man, we can't leave Luka open. We can't give him space. Even if he's missing, he's still a threat. LaRavia is here to play that kind of 3-and-D role to a degree, so he's going to get a lot of open shots. Rui is good at hitting open shots. It's a lot. But as far as the arrow is concerned, I don't think he's going to do much this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on a whole lot this year.
No,
maybe later in the season.
Yeah, but I don't know how it's going to play out by the end of the year. But I think probably year 3 and 4 is when you'll probably see him really come into his own, because it's still 2025 NBA, and he needs to have some ability to score, to shoot a little bit, to keep the other team honest. He can't just be a guy that plays defense and goes to the basket and gets alley-oops. It's just you'll get exposed when it matters too much. He'll need to be he need to somehow develop a little bit of his other skills. He doesn't need to be shooting 40% from three, but he needs to at least, hey, if he gets the ball, he's not completely irrelevant.
And let's hope he can get a jump shot. He could find one because that was the major flaw in his game in college. And hopefully he can just even shoot halfway. Look at Herb Jones. Herb Jones in his good years with New Orleans played a high level defense and shot close to, if not 40% from three. It's not been consistent, mind you, year over year, but in good years for him in New Orleans, that's the way it's worked out. And I'm hoping a dude Thiero could just get himself to be a competent shooter or competent player offensively. I know driving to the basket is something that he's excelled at, and getting to the free throw line, something that he did well in college. So maybe that will translate according to what we've seen so far in the NBA. So again, not a whole lot we should expect from him now, but as the course of the season goes on, he gets more and more of a sample size of the NBA going forward. I look forward to seeing some good things from him as well. Yeah, he was hurt in college. Yeah, Dwight, again, the expectations are not high, and obviously coming into his career with a knee injury already, and knee, didn't he have knee surgery? He might have had knee surgery as well already on it. That's not a good sign to start off your career with that, but he's healthy right now, so let's see what he can get.
He's 21, and he's 6'8", and believe he's a big boy too. He's not like 180 pounds. He's like 220, and he can move that way. So maybe with some good training, maybe good stretching, maybe some NBA training type stuff too, good diet, I'm pretty encouraged with what he could be, especially when you can get somebody that's that size and that athletic in the second round. Lakers have been very good at getting guys out off the scrap heap, so I don't see why it couldn't happen again. If this guy develops into a three, not a 3-and-D guy, but a athletic freak that can get to the basket and be a problem there, and can play defense, I think it's gonna be a win.
I'll say this though, Joe. One of the things LeBron
You know,
does
I just remembered his name.
I know
You remember Gerald Green?
yes, I do.
Okay, imagine. I don't think he's that freakish, but he's pretty freakish, right? I think
Yes.
Gerald Green was one of the most freakiest athletes ever, right?
Yeah.
In the NBA. But imagine if he could be, let's say, a notch below that, and
He
can,
developed as a high level defender and then became a decent 3-point shooter later on in his career.
if you can become, let's say, him, you are absolutely in a beautiful spot, especially when the Lakers get the second star after LeBron is gone.
Yeah. But speaking of LeBron, before we head on out, my friend, I wanted to mention that a dynamic that LeBron James, if he's right, can give you at certain moments in the game is pace. And that's something that the Lakers, again, Joe, if you look at the black and white and the statistics, you would say, how is this team is at 11-4 where they're at in the Western Conference? Because a lot of these stats don't back up what the Lakers are actually at. And one of them is pace, which, as you know, with Luka, he slows it down, controls the pace, unless there's an open man that's streaking where he'll get you the outlet on it. That's one thing LeBron and putting him back in the lineup can give you from time to time. And we saw that tonight in the second half is where he can increase the pace of this team to provide a different dynamic from time to time that Luka or AR don't always bring.
I can't. It's too early.
Hmm.
I'm really, really just trying to enjoy the game right now and see how the team is developed. And really, there was no way for us to see how things are really going to be this year with this team until LeBron got back. So this is game one. I didn't think LeBron was going to do what he did today. I thought that passing display was out of this world great. And the only thing I'm waiting on is he going to be that guy? Is he going to continue to be that guy as a primary? Because he played exactly the minutes I wanted him to play. 29, 30 minutes. That's it. And they won by 15, being down most of the game too. So that was good. So I have to see this team play without anybody being hurt. I don't want to hear about Ayton being gone for 3 weeks and Luka being like, I'm talking about this team. Let's say game 30. I want to see game 30, which is another 15, 16 games. 15 games. Game 30. If they're sitting at 22-8, now things are really getting interesting. Now this team is clicking already. Now this team has a lot of potential of being, for sure, a top 4 team. But can they get a top 2 seed? Can they jump Denver? Can they jump Houston? I don't think anybody's going to catch OKC, but can they get that 2 seed? And will it be a 3-way MVP thing with Shai Gilgeous, Jokic, and Luka? Because Luka and Jokic are kind of battling right now.
Yeah. Although SGA with a team that's 14-1 and doesn't have its second best player, that also gives him a case in that top 3. You're right. 805 says, Joe and Gerald, will USA win gold in 28? USA has depth. It depends on who suits up in 2028. LeBron stated, I believe it was yesterday or recently, that he'll be watching from Cancun. So that'll be LeBron out of the picture on that one. I mean, if you still have Steph, Kevin Durant has said he would, I think, welcome the opportunity to play one more time for USA. So we'll see. I mean, it was Curry at moments during the course of the Olympics, and then when it wasn't Curry, it was LeBron stepping up to the plate. They still relied on those old guys to get the job done when they needed to. Who will step up? I mean, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards. Hopefully, those guys will replace the Currys, the Durants, the LeBrons once those guys are finished fully once and for all with USA basketball.
Yeah, I think Steph.
Plus the young guys that are coming up in next year's draft. Watch out for next year's draft.
Yeah, Steph had mentioned if he could do it, he would, but doesn't see it happening. LeBron has done his time. I think he was on the 04, 06, 08, 12, and 16 teams,
Mm-hmm.
and the 2020.
Mm-hmm. And 2024.
How many golds does he have? 3?
I thought it was 4, but I may be mistaken. I'll find
3.
out. I'll check. You're probably right.
Yeah. I'll have one later this week, son. We'll be talking Lakers, Dodgers, and a little football as well.
Yeah, you're right. It's 3.
Yeah.
And then we're also, by the way, going to have another show based off of Austin Reaves. We're going to do a show specifically on Austin Reaves sometime this week as well here on the LFB.
Yeah, there's the Olympics. I'm not invested in the Olympics international stuff as much as maybe I was before. But even then, I wasn't before. I'm too NBA centric. Hell, the MLB right now, there's been some talk about the Dodgers kind of hoping and crossing their fingers that the Japanese players aren't going to tax themselves before the MLB season starts. And I'm like, man, I don't know how the hell they're going to stop that. Japan's going to want Yamamoto to mow everybody down. And is Japan going to use Otani as a pitcher? You know, there's a lot at stake coming up this year in baseball, and the WBC is going to be played in March. I don't know. The international games tend to be a little draining for a lot of these guys, and this is the second year in a row that the Dodgers have played deep into late October, early November, and they always start off in another country. When they do start, they start a month, a lot of times 3 weeks before the actual season starts. So 2 weeks really. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the 28 team yet until I see what the team will end up being. What I do know is Eric Spoelstra is going to be coaching. That's going to be interesting. Is he going to command the respect of these guys enough? Because that'll play into it. Because Larry Brown didn't do too well in 04 with that team.
There you go. But once again, the Lakers do win 140-125. The Lakers are now 11-4 on the season, 4th place in the Western Conference. I do want to mention again, their next game is not until Sunday. So we get several days off. So you get a Joe Soro experiment. Hopefully you get another LFB. I'm hoping on Saturday at 11 a.m. You're going to get the Lakerholics. So we hopefully will fill up some of that time for you while the Lakers have some days off. Much deserved days off in this weird schedule that they have, Joe. Again, they've already played 3 of their 5. I think they had 5 back-to-backs on the schedule, or 5 or 6, but they've already played 3 of them, yet somehow they managed to have 5 days off.
I'm sure that they're very appreciative of the little break here. They've had the hardest schedule apparently in the league so far.
Yeah.
And that's a very encouraging. I know it's not a lot, the first 14 games, saying, oh, yeah. But it's nice. It is nice. Think about it. They didn't have Luka for a few games. They didn't have LeBron until tonight. Austin Reaves had missed some time. Hey, they're 11-4. Let's extrapolate that there, Gerald. I mean,
great start for the Lakers. This exceeds our expectations.
So I know it's not. I know they're not going to finish at 73%, but even at 68%, what are we looking at there? 55 divided by 82. You're looking at a 55-win team. I think that's pretty good, especially with the way that the competition is now in the league.
They were 47.5 going into the season here in Vegas.
I mean, they're on pace to win 60 games right now, right? That's the pace.
They're about 58 to 60.
Yeah. So To me, I think the only reason why the seeding is important is so that they can start at home. But that didn't work out too well last year, but I think this team's going to be better. The other thing is there is something to cheer for as well. Is the higher the seed, the better chance that Luka has at winning an MVP. So that's kind of playing into that as well. I want Luka to win the MVP because I felt that if Luka's playing MVP ball, that means the Lakers are winning, and the Lakers are likely going to have a top 2 seed. They're not going to get the 1, but there's a chance they can get the 2.
There's a chance, absolutely. They're only a half game out of it right now, and that's a good sign for the Lakers if they can get in there. And I know you guys just said, okay, well, as far as fake said, the Lakers were a 3rd seed last year. What does that seeding really matter? Seeding, just talk to OKC, who had 2 game 7s at home in OKC. Tell them seeding doesn't matter. It does matter. More than likely, more than not, you are going to win if you are the higher seed and you have more home games than your opponent. Lakers, it didn't work out last season, but we all know why, and we all know what the weaknesses were, and hopefully the Lakers have shored some of those weaknesses up. You've got a healthier Luka, you've got a improved Austin, you've got more rotation guys here that are able to play some minutes, and you've got LeBron now coming back, hopefully integrating himself like we see tonight in that second half. And hopefully that's a big taste of what we're going to see going forward, is how LeBron will not try to dominate what's going on. Instead, just try to be able to fit into what the Lakers are doing and capitalize when he needs to. And again, his playmaking skills, Joe, still, even at 41, can still be something the Lakers could definitely use going forward, as we saw tonight in that second half.
Well, they want to take advantage of this next run. Utah, playing in Utah, you know how I feel about Utah. Utah, in a lot of ways, is similar to playing in Atlanta.
Jamie's sweet trap game again, Admiral Akbar.
It's not going to be a surprise if they lose that game. However,
but I think it would be for me because of the days off. They're going to be
I don't think that. I think I've seen more losses after a long layoff than I have actually when they've played back to backs.
You could be right on that.
Yeah,
well, they were rusty today. So,
however, I do like that they're going to play the Clippers a few days later. Then it's Dallas, then it's New Orleans, and then Phoenix. I'm very confident that they should be able to win those games. Those are all Phoenix very, very winnable games at home.
Huh? Don't snooze on Phoenix.
No, I'm not. I know they're playing pretty well, but they are playing at home, and I'd like to, and it is a back end of a back-to-back, which they've been good. They've been good at winning those games.
Yeah,
I want this team to be good at home, and these are the games that you want to win early in the year. So let's say in the next 5 games they go 4-1. Now they're sitting at 15-5. That's a great record. 15-5, and then they're going into another deep, and I'm talking deep East road trip. They're going to Toronto. They're going to Boston, Philadelphia. They're going to go back to Utah on the way back. Then they're going to come back finally at home, but they're going to be playing at the Intuit Dome, and then they got to play a game in Phoenix before they finally get back for an extended home stand. Again, the benefit in so far the schedule this year is they have been playing a crap load of road games. Yes. And they've only lost 2.
That's correct.
Right? That's very encouraging. So
one of the best road teams in the NBA right now.
Yes. And they're going to have one more road trip that's going to be this long, and that's usually the Grammy trip in January, right? So for me,
the December, well, if you take a look at it, December 4th through the 23rd, all those games are on the road. But guys, between the 7th and 18th, there's the NBA Cup thing as well. So that's why there's a gap of 11 days between those road games. So there may be a home game that they throw in, or going to Vegas or something like that, Joe. But December 4th through the 7th are road games, December 18th through the road games. But the games between the 7th and the 18th haven't fully been made out yet because of what happens in that NBA Cup, Joe.
Yeah. The Lakers are going to be in pretty good shape if they can get out of that next road trip 4-2. So let's say they finish, let's say they go 4 out of 5 in the next 5 games. Now they're sitting at 15-5. And let's say they go 4-2 in that road trip.
They've also got a long one in March, FYI.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. But I like the schedule the way.
Okay.
They're a young team. This is the time to take advantage of these harder games early in the season when you're fresh versus when you're kind of starting to feel like you're getting phased out in March or in late February.
Well, he did say earlier tonight that he could fit in with anybody after the game, and that was LeBron James. So let's hope that stays true.
Only Westbrook. Forward. Westbrook. He couldn't fit in through Westbrook. That's
that's true. So we saw that firsthand. What's up, Aussie? Great to have you on Facebook. He says if LeBron has more assists than points, Lakers probably benefit more. Yeah, if we do see that, as long as we see Austin and Luka scoring like they are, and Ayton giving you 20 and 14, if he comes up with 11 and 12 assists like that, that's really does help the Lakers a lot, John. You're right. And again, appreciate you on Facebook, my friend. Hopefully all the family as well. Again, appreciate everyone here on, of course, YouTube, and give big a shout out to Twitch as well for going ahead and checking us out. The Lakers do win 140-125. I got a nice crowd tonight, almost back to normal for what we had last season. People are getting interested. Obviously, seeing the return of LeBron gets the fire back for some of these people. So if that's the case, welcome back. We're glad to have you here. So Joe, can you provide any more confidence that you can instill with them with the return of LeBron James right now?
Yeah, confidence is in if he plays the way he played tonight, the rest of the year, things are going to go very, very well.
By the way, Aussie said, congrats on the Dodgers, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. It's still, we're still flying high. Still watching highlights. Still.
When does free agency start, if I may ask?
It already started last Thursday.
It did? Okay. It's been pretty quiet. That's why I'm asking. Because I know that the Angels made a trade today with the Orioles, but it's been pretty quiet right now. So that's why I'm asking. So I know they're still going to have the meetings, the winter meetings, correct?
Yeah, baseball free agency. It's not like the NBA where the free agency starts and then people start signing right away. It's very rare that happens. That's why when I was explaining to people when Ohtani was a free agent, I wasn't even listening to anything hardly. I was just letting things play out. There was a year where Blake Snell, a couple of years back, where Blake didn't sign until March. And then Bryce Harper, same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here on the computer for the next 4 months and see what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So,
I just wondering because it's been like crickets. So I just was trying to figure out what's going on with that.
Well, yeah, it's just what got me into the Shohei thing was the stupid commentary about him being on the plane.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the dumbest things I think I'd seen in a free agency discussion. Oh, this guy's on a plane to Toronto. First of all, my instinct said, what the hell is he doing in Toronto? Why the hell would he go to Toronto, number one? And how the hell do you know he's on the plane? And then, of course, they both turned out to be stupid assessments. And we all got a laugh. And then, 3 days later, he showed a Dodger hat on his Instagram, and it was over. Like, anyone with a half a brain knew he was going to sign with the Dodgers. Just didn't know when. I was surprised, though. $700 million. And at the time, I was looking
at every penny.
Well, I was looking at it from a baseball perspective. Meaning, how are you going to pay this one guy, even though I know he pitches too? I go, how are you going to pay this guy $700 million to only bat 4 times a game? This is baseball. Baseball's different. But then here comes Yamamoto. Here comes Teo. Here comes Edman eventually. And then, the rest is history. So from a financial standpoint, obviously from the, getting the best athlete on the planet at the time, I understood it after a while. But at the time, I'm thinking about how are you going to pay this guy this much money and he's only going to help you 4 times a game? Like baseball's just different, right? But anyways, it turned out to be, I turned out to have egg in my face on that one pretty quickly. And thank God no one, thank God I wasn't involved in that. Not that I wouldn't have done it. I'm just saying that was what was going on in my head. 805, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Even though it didn't play out exactly like the 01 team, I think it played out more like the 02 Lakers when they played Sacramento. You know how Sacramento should have beaten the Lakers. Toronto should have beaten the Dodgers. Turned out to be that. Because really, that's, let's be honest, the Sacramento Kings series was the championship, right? Like, I don't even.
Toronto, if you looked at it from on the paper, you wonder yourself, how could Toronto have lost this series? Because on paper, they almost beat the Dodgers in almost every category.
Yeah, it somewhat was similar, not all the way, but in some ways similar to the 1960 World Series where the Yankees blew out the Pirates in 3 of their wins. And I'm talking like double-digit ass whoopings, right? I think one of the games was 10-0. And then the Pirates won every single close game. I think 2 of the games were single run wins. And then, of course, Bill Mazeroski hits the game winner in Game 7.
Yeah.
I know that 2024 was very, very, very similar to the 2000 Lakers. They were number 1 in the regular season. They had a little bit of a hiccup in the playoffs with the Padres, but then after that, they ended up dominating. I enjoyed 2024 more than I enjoyed 2025. 2025 was a very aggravating year. But in the end, because they won, you look back on it and go, wow, we just witnessed what could have been the greatest World Series ever.
Well, I want to disagree with you on that point, Joe, because you were aggravated throughout the regular season. 2025, you're right, is the best World Series I've ever seen ever. No one can go to me and dispute me on that. But I saw you more frustrated during the regular season, primarily because of the bullpen, than you were last season. And obviously it translated into a better regular season last year than this one. But ultimately, like we said, when it comes right down to it, the World Series was one of the most incredible sporting things that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was. So they made up for it, though, in the first 3 rounds. So beating Cincinnati handedly, obviously. They won that 2-0, even though I still don't consider that a playoff series in my head. It's just kind of stubborn with it. Beating Philly in Game 1 and Game 2. Wow, I was in shock after Game 2. Like, I couldn't believe that they had went into Philly. Philly was one of the worst places to play. Just hard to win in there, especially winning 1 game, let alone 2. I'm like, wow. And then, of course, they got whooped in Game 3. And I'm like, okay, let's see if they can win in Game 4. And then, of course, Game 4 ended up being the the drooper to the pitcher, and then all of a sudden, all you see is this. Couldn't happen to a better team and a better fan base, by the way. Then we saw probably in my time as a Dodger fan, the most dominating series I think I've ever seen the Dodgers have. I mean, they destroyed the Brewers. The first game was competitive, but after that one, it was pretty much destruction, right? And then you saw
Craig said he listened to that last 1960 World Series.
that's crazy. That is crazy, Greg. That's a I
much
don't know what to
respect,
say
Craig.
about that.
Much
That's
respect to you, my friend.
that's a crazy memory to have there, Craig. Glad to you'll have to tell us that story a little bit when we get on the playback next, because I want to hear a little bit about that. I got familiar with that game because of the movie A Bronx Tale. It's my favorite movie.
Yep.
Where there's a scene with Colodro he's talking to Sonny about how he hated because he was a huge Mickey Mantle fan, and he talks about how they said the media said that the papers said Mickey was crying, and then Sonny's like, Mickey Mantle, is that what you? Mickey Mantle makes $100,000 a year. How much does your father make? I'm trying to. I won't spoil it. Watch A Bronx Tale. There's a really good scene about that World Series, and that whole scene, that whole movie is just a masterpiece of all masterpieces. I wish we had more movies like that coming out, but it was by far the most frustrating year, regular season, that's for sure, that I've watched in a long time, if not worse, because of the expectations. But then they made up for it in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, and then the World Series was the regular season frustration turned up to 9 RPMs. I was so emotionally drained after Game 5. I could not even watch Game 6 to start, and I missed a lot of Game 7. I missed the middle part of Game 7. I was so drained and so upset with myself for feeling like I was having heart attacks over a stupid baseball game. But it was all worth it. I saw 2 of the most crazy, nutty, amazing games in Game 6 and 7 that I think I'll ever watch. I don't think I'll ever watch games like that. And again, the 91 World Series, I remember vividly. I remember vividly. That has a huge argument as being the greatest World Series ever. I think there was 3 games that were 1-run games in that series. 97 was amazing. That was extra innings with Florida and the Indians. And then you had the 01 World Series with Diamondbacks and Yankees, and you had the 2016 Cubs and Indians. I've seen some crazy Game 7s, and I can't forget 2011 with David Freese and Texas with St. Louis coming back and winning that series. There's been some amazing series, but the plays that happened in these 2 games is what, in a lot of ways, sets this apart. There are plays in those games that should have never happened.
Yeah.
How do you not score second and third with no outs? And the way the Dodgers got out of that was nuts. So it's a winning cures all. And
that it does.
The 15 heart attacks I had during that week, I don't know, maybe the euphoria, maybe the dopamine went from my head to my chest and cured the plaque out of my clogged arteries, maybe. I don't know.
I know there was a lot of nerves when I was on your playback channel. I got on the stage because everybody was so nervous. Nobody wanted to go on stage. It was hilarious.
Well, I have a difficulty. Yeah, I have difficulty getting on to playback because of my delay.
But no, it was just so funny, Joe, because nobody wanted to get on stage, so I got on stage. Then Mark, bless his heart, joined me, and Vari joined me as well. But nobody, Vari had already broken his headset. Now, it was hilarious. But just seeing you guys go through what you went through and that big comeback by the Dodgers, absolutely. Again, one of the best World Series and one of the greatest sporting events I've ever seen in my entire life.
And again, I do feel bad for the Toronto players. There's some really good guys over there. I just found it interesting that you had a fan base that was so confident after one game, yelling, "We don't need him." You do. You did need him.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah. And that man. We talk about. I watched the second part of the A-Rod versus Alex. It was much better than the first one, by the way. I'm not a big A-Rod fan because A-Rod or Alex Rodriguez he's the I use this comparison to LeBron. A-Rod's the guy that would have jumped the women and children and gotten on the boat in the Titanic. That's who he is. That's why I don't like him. Well, I don't dislike him. That's why I was always weary of him. And the whole, I learned my lesson and all that, that's all bullshit. He would have never made a peep if he didn't get caught. And there's a lot of guys out there that still haven't said anything about their extracurricular activities. But as far as the Dodgers and Ohtani and the Toronto thing, these guys acted like they had won something. And call it whatever you want, call it a jinx, call it a karma, whatever. I think in the end, it was an important lesson for those who thought they thought they knew. Well, in the end, they didn't. And the Dodgers were screwed so badly in 17 and in 18. The wrath, I didn't want to give the attention because Jeff usually takes care of that because he does his little shorts, right? And he gets a lot of feedback from that. But I haven't really addressed it in this way, but I figure why not? That's since we're on the subject and things have calmed down a little bit. This is what you get. You sit here and you're like, well, you're buying a championship. Well, motherfuckers, we had homegrown talent in 17 and 18. Bellinger, Seager, guys that were discarded like Justin Turner, Chris Taylor, Max Muncy, Kershaw. So we had that too then, and we got cheated. They got cheated. Kershaw got cheated of a World Series MVP and a World Series, and it could have changed the narrative in his career too, by the way. He got cheated. But now you guys come out with your bullshit. Oh, you guys have to buy everything. Well, yeah, good. I'm glad they bought everything. Now you can eat it. Now you can swallow it. Because no one helped the Dodgers getting screwed twice. I should say Boston made up for it a little bit. They gave us Mookie Betts for free. And that produced 3 championships. So maybe I'm not as harsh on Boston. I'll always be harsh on the Astros, though. Those guys are pieces of shit.
I agree.
Striking out Springer, his last at bat, getting his ass struck out. And in game 6, having to watch that double play end that game while Springer's waiting on deck, that was a beautiful ending in both games for that piece of shit cheater who the only thing I hated about Joe Davis's announcing in this series is the fact that they were sucking his dick the entire series. I'm like, stop doing that. His first 3, 2017, 18, and 19, he was cheating. Stop saying this guy is a playoff whiz. So to get back at that piece of shit made it even better. Oh, Springer Dinger this. You remember this, Gerald, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Springer this, Dinger. How about that?
And thanks, a big shout out to the Toronto Wall as well for
Yes. So for those who are denigrating the Dodgers for buying their championships. They weren't buying championships before when they got
screwed over
screwed.
twice.
Got screwed over twice. So sit on it. Suck on it. And you're going to continue to do it, by the way, because Dodgers don't give a shit. And if this, and now they're prepared, by the way, in case there's a lockout. They're going to go all the way. They're going to try to get a three-peat. We'll get a three-peat and then lock them out for a year. That'll rest the Dodgers for a year. Right? I mean, that back to back is taxing, guys. So imagine if they three-peat. Now they're going to get a year off if they lock out for 2027. Cool. They come back in 2028, which, by the way, I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. I don't think the lockout's going to be that long. Even if they miss time, it's not going to be that much. They can't risk what they've already built. They doubled the ratings. The World Series doubled the ratings from the NBA Finals. This is the first time in a long time baseball jumped the NBA. Baseball right now is number 2 in America. So with that, I don't see the lockout lasting the whole year. But let's just say it does. You're going to give the best team in this era right now, in this century, this decade, a year off after winning hopefully 3 in a row. And then you'll see what they do in 2027. So either way, you're screwed. Either way.
Last thing before we go, and once again, the Lakers win 140-125. They're 11-4 on the season. And again, we are going to bring you a Lakers fast break during the interim on the days off because their next game is until Sunday. Join us then on playback and then, of course, the post game there. But we'll bring you a Lakers fast break on Austin Reaves here in the interim. Joe will come back for a Joe Sorrell experiment, hopefully as well on his channel. The Lakerholics crew will hopefully get together Saturday at 11 as well. But before we head out, I wanted to go ahead and mention this note because it was noted, or actually reporters asked Deandre Ayton what it felt like to get the alley-oop from a guy historically in his 23rd season in LeBron James. And he had to tell the reporters that this was the second time he got an alley-oop from LeBron James. The first time was here in Vegas, everyone, at LeBron James basketball camp when DeAndre was in the 8th grade, Joe.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yeah, DeAndre seems to be having fun in LA.
Yes, he is. And again, he knows what he needs to play for. He knows what he needs to accomplish to reestablish himself as a starting center in the NBA going forward, whether it's with the Lakers or another team, because he hits free agency as well. So, and he is, again, I will give props and flowers when it's needed. And right now, Rob Pelinka deserves the flowers for DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart. Again, low cost, high ceiling as far as potential on that. And all three have exceeded expectations on what they're being paid for right now. And again, we could have had DFS back. Yes, we could have offered him a better deal, et cetera, et cetera. But I would rather have these 3 players than DFS because you probably couldn't afford both of 2 of these 3 players if you would have signed DFS, and we'll still go. So, Vari, we are heading out right now. It is, of course, the Lakers 140-125. Joe, any last thoughts before we head on out?
Well, I'm going to enjoy Laker basketball here. Mark Walter is officially the owner now, and hopefully Rob can add some depth to this team between now and February.
Looking forward to it as well, my friend. And hopefully we can get in line with those optimists in our chat all chat long. You know, I love the optimism. If they really believe that this Lakers team is already at an NBA championship level and they would beat the OKC Thunder in 4 and all that, I would love to be where you guys are at, but I am more realistic right now what the Lakers are and what the Lakers aren't. But I'm hoping that the right moves can be made and also that this team will remain healthy, productive, and keep it going, because if it can, Joe and I might be closer to what you guys think coming March and April, indeed. Once again, it is Gerald Glassford along with Joe Sorrell. Please go ahead and check out Joe Sorrell. Like and subscribe to his channel, The Joe Sorrell Experiment on YouTube and The Joe Sorrell Experiment on Playback. Don't forget as well, Sunday night, Playback for us on the Lakers Fast Break. And of course, the world famous Postgame right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast as well. The Lakerholics should be back Saturday at 11. And we will have a special episode on Austin Reaves. I'm not sure yet which day, but we'll try to schedule it in between until the Lakers play again on Sunday at Utah this time around. So for Joe Sorrell, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Please like and subscribe. It helps out the channel tremendously if you do. Tell your friends out there, again, to support what we're doing, what Drip Show Shop is doing at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Look at the canvas art that he has done for me. Look at the awesome pillow of Kobe and Gigi that he's done. If you need a holiday gift, and I know it's becoming Black Friday, he might have a Black Friday deal for you. So follow at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter and show support for a great holiday custom gift that Joe, myself, and others in the Lakers communities has gotten in recent weeks, months. And I'll tell you what, if there's no better place to go, there is no better place to go for a great custom holiday gift than at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it. We'll be back here later this week, right here on the Joe Sorrell Experiment channel, and of course, the Lakers Fast Break podcast. You're probably right on that one, Vari. Have a great week, everyone. Be safe.